let's be real, if you've ever tried building a serious AI agent, you know it can get complicated fast. Well, today we're going to break down Google's answer to all that complexity, the Agentic Development Kit, or ADK. Let's see how it's trying to change the game.
Right now, the world of AI development feels like it's in a Cambrian explosion. There are new tools and frameworks popping up everywhere. And while options are great, for developers, it's created this, well, chaos. Trying to stitch together all these different parts to build one smart, reliable AI agent can be a real headache. So, in the middle of all this noise, what's Google's move? How are they planning to cut through the clutter and give us a more streamlined way to build these agents? And that's where the Agentic Development Kit, or ADK for short, comes into the picture. It's a brand new, open-source toolkit that's really designed to bring some order to that chaos, and it does it with a huge focus on developer control and, you guessed it, the cloud. Let's dig into what that actually means for you.
So, what is it really? At its heart, ADK is a Python toolkit that puts you, the developer, squarely in the driver's seat. The big idea here is code first. That means you're not wrestling with some complicated visual builder. Nope, you're writing straightforward Python code. This gives you total flexibility to decide exactly how your agent thinks and acts with no weird black boxes getting in the way. And you can really see the difference when you put it side by side with other popular frameworks. Now, those tools are super powerful, but they can get complex with their graph or role-based setups. ADK's code-first approach is just cleaner. But here's the real kicker. It's native integration with Google Cloud. This isn't just some add-on. ADK was built from the ground up to make deploying your agent an absolute breeze. All right, so how does this thing actually tick? When you peel back the layers, it all comes down to three key ideas that work together: the agents, the tools they use, and something called orchestration that makes them all play nice. First up, you've got the agent. Just think of this as the brain of the whole operation. It's the piece of the puzzle that uses a big language model, like Gemini, to think and reason through a problem. You give it a goal, and it uses its LLM brain to figure out the steps to get there. But a brain isn't much use without hands, right? That's exactly what tools are. You can think of them as superpowers you give to your agent. See, an LLM on its own can't just browse the internet or peek into your company's database. A tool is just a simple function that connects the agent's brain to a real-world action. And what's really cool is you're not just stuck with one kind of superpower. You can use Google's ready-to-go built-in tools like Google Search. You can write your very own custom tools for super specific tasks, or you can even plug into third-party services like Slack. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. A single agent with a cool tool is useful, for sure. But the real magic of ADK happens when you get a bunch of agents to work together. This coordination is called orchestration, and it comes in two main flavors. So the first type is a sequential workflow, which is basically an assembly line. Imagine you want to create a new recipe. First, a research agent hops on Google Search and finds all the ingredients. It then passes that info to a creator agent, whose only job is to write the recipe steps. And finally, an enhancement agent can come in and add some pro cooking tips. See, each agent does its job one after the other. But hey, not every job needs to be an assembly line. For everything else, you use parallel agents. Think of it like a pit crew in a race. Let's say you're planning a trip. You can have one agent looking for hotels, another one finding restaurants, and a third one digging up fun activities, all at the exact same time. Because their tasks don't depend on each other, you get everything you need way, way faster. We touched on this a little earlier, but it is so important it deserves its own moment. The most strategic part of ADK, its real secret weapon, is how it's designed from its very core to work with Google Cloud. I mean, this quote from the developers really says it all. ADK isn't just another general-purpose framework where deployment is your problem to figure out later. No, it was built to be the most direct, frictionless on-ramp to Google's massive cloud infrastructure, like Vertex AI and Cloud Run. So why should you care about this cloud-native stuff? Well, it means less friction. It means you can go from a prototype you hack together on your laptop to a scalable global application with way fewer headaches. It also unlocks amazing features like persistent memory. By hooking into a cloud database, your agents can actually remember past conversations and context just like a person would. That's a huge deal. So let's zoom out and put all these pieces together. What's the big takeaway here? What does the Agentic Development Kit really let you do? The most important thing to remember is this. ADK is all about simplifying the entire journey of building an agent. It's about closing that huge gap between having a cool idea in a Python file and having a tough, production-ready AI agent that can do real work out in the wild.
And this right here is the real shift in thinking that ADK enables. You stop thinking about building one giant do-it-all AI. Instead, you become the manager, assembling specialized teams of AI agents. Each agent is an expert at its own little task, and together, they can tackle really complex problems that would be impossible for any single agent to handle alone. And that really leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to chew on. As these tools make it easier and easier to build not just individual AI workers, but fully coordinated AI teams, what kinds of problems that we've always thought were too complicated or just too massive suddenly become solvable? That's the future ADK is starting to unlock.